What's up, boys and girls? You're watching 63 Fix TV, and today I'm going to be taking apart and stripping down the ESB, which is obviously, as you know, the Super Ted or Ted James Designs ESB bike. Now, I bought this bike and all the parts that were on it are still on it now. I've never taken this bike apart, so it's going to be a first for me. If I come across any challenges, I want you to be right there with me so we can overcome these challenges together. Now, before we get started, I want you to know this is not your standard fixed gear bike. More like a fixed gear freestyle bike. So, for example, I'm thinking the bottom bracket is more like a BMX bottom bracket. And the cranks aren't your typical fixed gear or, single speed crank set. These are going to be like perhaps a 3-piece crank, or something that's like a BMX crank. Anyway, we're rambling right now when really we should be going to the workshop and getting this thing started. So come and join me. So we're here in the temporary workshop right now. We've got all the frames around the side that we need to work on, or I need to work on. Just down here there's loads of wheel sets all ready to go. Yeah, basically bikes and parts everywhere. But today we're working on the ESB. This is my number one. This is my prized possession right now. And as you can see on the frame, the surface rust has got worse and worse. So, and I know I've seen some of you in the comments below saying that, oh yeah, you should just raw it and leave it. And I've taken all those comments on board and thought, you know what, that's your opinion. Every time I touch this bike, I get rust all over my hands and it feels horrible. So basically today, I'm going to strip this frame, all the parts gone, so the frame and the forks are just off, and I'm going to take that to Treston's again and get it professionally powder coated. I think I'm going to go with a gun metal. Now, I've not taken this bike apart since I've actually got it, so we're going to experience this together for the first time. Hopefully we don't come across any challenges, so let's get started. First things first, I'm going to take the wheels off, and like I said before, this isn't your average bike. This is built a little bit differently. Now, the hubs have got female bolts instead of the male bolts that you use like a 15mm wrench. These are female bolts, so Allen keys at the ready. Look at that clearance. Woohoo! One wheel off. This chain is so dry, it's ridiculous. Second wheel off. I'm actually quite glad I'm taking this all apart and servicing it, and perhaps using new parts and definitely getting this all sprayed down professionally, because you really do come across things on the bike, like the chain for example, that you just wish were lubricated, and like certain things aren't greased. So I'm quite happy I'm doing this. Now we're going to take off the crank set right here. So as you guys might have seen in the video just here or wherever on the screen, the bolt on this crank on the other side had actually came off, and as you can see, I can take the arm right off on the other side. But don't worry, I've ordered new bolts for this crank. But just realised the bolt on this side is super loose. Look, I don't even need a wrench. I can literally unscrew this. That is crazy. Profile racing BMX style Cranks off, hands dirty. As you can see, we've reached the bottom bracket, and you can see that the bearings have just been pushed into the BB. I need a towel because I'm so dirty. This is a mid bottom bracket instead of like a Euro or a British, whatever, you know, the screw-in type. This is a mid bottom bracket, similar to what you'd find on a BMX. Ha-ha! One side of the bearing out. So I think the previous owner to this bike never used grease on any of the parts, so just to make getting the mid-bottom bracket off easier, I'm using this. You could use WD-40, AC-90, I'm using GT-85. I'm going to do a little bit of spray. Yeah. Just so it kind of lubricates everything inside. I shouldn't really be using this, but I'm using like a piece of metal to hammer out the mid-bottom bracket, and I'm using a little mallet as well. It's actually quite difficult, but the trick is that you're trying to hit the mid-bottom bracket out, but you're not just trying to hit on one side. You're trying to get up the top on that angle, hit it out at the bottom, maybe the sides and the side, just so it doesn't come out all the way on one side, but it comes out evenly on all sides. Hammer time. It's gone. It's fully gone. Where? I don't know. There it is. Never again. Next up, we're going to take off the chain. Now I'm going to keep this chain because I ain't done nothing wrong. I've got so many tools and parts in this little box, it's ridiculous. The seat post. Another one. And this is what I was looking for. This is a chain delinker or a remover. Okay, pick a random link. Now what you want to do is, when taking a chain off, I'm pushing this through, right, but you don't want to push it all the way so it drops out, because it makes it difficult to put it back on. So we're going to push it just a little bit, then we're going to retract this little spinny handle. There we go. This is the type of chain we're dealing with, and you want to take it off, de-link it so that you leave that little bit in the middle hanging on the side there, just so it makes it easier for later on to put back on. Okay, so now we're going to take off the seat clamp, the seat post, and we just leave the seat attached to the post. Jesus Christ, this is on. What I'm going to do is I'm going to wait until I take off the forks and that, take the bike frame off the stand, and just use brute force to get the seat post out. So moving on to the stem and the headset and taking the forks off. So we're going to need a big Allen key for this. One of the things I do like about this bike is that all of the parts, like the wheel axle, the female bolts on the wheels, also the crank set, and also this headset nut here, all fit this with the same Allen key. Perfect. Here we go. Something else that I like is the Odyssey V3 stem also uses the exact same Allen key. Amazing. Some of you may not know already, but the Odyssey V3 stem just uses one bolt to keep it all on. Now you've got to be careful when you take these Odyssey stems off, because they do come with a lot of parts attached to it. So there's the bolt. See what I mean? This is all from one stem, and then of course you've actually got the whole. Okay, there's some more parts coming off. There we go. That can come off like so as well. Now we've got some spacers. Definitely look after them. And there we go. So now we've got the fork off. Now this is an integrated headset as well, so you've got to keep all the parts that come off. If you don't know how to take a headset off, whether it's an integrated one or whatever, there's a certain tool that you need to get. This is a headset remover. You can get this off eBay if you just type in just type in bicycle headset remover, and what you do is you get a mallet as well. You kind of squeeze all those little ends together, put it inside your head tube. Sometimes you need a hammer, sometimes you don't. It makes the whole job super easy. Hopefully this doesn't come out just as easy, but you pinch all of those things together, put it inside the head tube. Right, so it hits. All those little things have fanned out. You get your little mallet and you just whack it up. Hey, hey. Hey, hey. And that's how to remove a headset using this tool, which is one of the best investments I've ever had. What we're going to do now is we're going to take off this stubborn seat post. That is long. I may cut this down when I put it back in. Now, because I really like this head badge, I'm going to ask the people at the powder coaters if they can keep it on or somehow take it off, and I'll put it back on myself. Beautiful frame, like the geometry and everything. Quick little tip or a note before you go and attempt this yourself, if you need to, if you're taking apart your bike today or in the future, make sure that you keep any parts that come off your bike and put them to the side safe, and that you're not going to lose them, because when it comes to building it back up again, you don't want that kind of stress. So make sure you keep everything nice and neatly. You can't see it right now, but I've got everything laid out in front of me. What we're going to do now is going to take the frame and forks outside, take a picture for the thumbnail, and show you guys what this looks like before I take it to the powder coaters. That pretty much wraps it up for this video, guys. Leave a comment below if you have just taken apart your bike, and let me know what struggles you came up with, and if you want to see any more new videos coming up, please leave us an idea. Just spat them. I will see you in the next video. He's got so many bikes. So many.